Hi, welcome to this week's writing tips. This is a bit of a doozy, this one. So, I'm a horror writer. Okay, I write very dark, graphic, gory, paranormal stuff. Um, and I really like to include social social issues, social commentary. Um, Recently, it's just been quite difficult to get my head around the fact that as a horror writer, um, there are several bandwagons out there that are trying to dilute horror, trying to tell us horror creators how to do it, how not to do it, what to include, what not to include, what is too graphic, what is objectionable content. And it's really getting to me. So, horror genre, it's on a spectrum, right? We have ghost stories, which are relatively light-hearted. Then we may shift into some graphic horror scenes, and then we might drift into some gore, and then from there you might get your hack and slash. There's your psychological horrors. There's all types of subgenres in horror. It's ridiculous. But what I am noticing is it's so diluted. Whether it's in a book or a film, horror seems to have these people behind the scenes who don't want to watch the horror in horror. The irony in that is ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to watch a horror movie, you're going to watch horror, right? So, obviously, there's going to be some really bad content in it, some really nasty, nasty stuff. But is that not what you expect to see in horror? I mean, comedy is comedy, and everybody laughs. Thrillers, psychological thrillers, dramas, people love that because it's got some relevant issues in it, whatever. And horror is just horror. It's horror. Whether it's full on horror or whether it's just your basic horror Hollywood big buster films or big budget films. And I guess my spiel here today is that if you're going to take on a genre like horror, don't let people stop your creativity. I'm not picking on anyone in particular or any group in particular. But basically, there are people out there who want to dilute horror. They want to dilute it. They want to dampen it down. And what that is doing basically is impeding people like me from writing what I enjoy to write, what people enjoy reading. And I've had a lot of discussions about this with other people as well. Obviously, horror usually has a moral behind it. There's a learning lesson, like not to go through the woods by yourself. Horror can be true crime as well. Obviously, true crime is real horror, right? What I'm writing is fiction. What people are writing and filming is fiction. And yes, there are some dreadful themes that run through horror: uh, murder, suicide, mental illness, psychopathy, um, social issues, relevant social issues. So I'm just here today to say that do not let people stand in your way when it comes to writing in your genre. I don't know what you're writing. You could be writing your memoir, you could be writing a drama, a true crime, whatever. Just do it. Don't let people stand in your way. Don't let people get on the bandwagon and tell you you can't write that, because it's not exceptional. It's not accepted by traditional horror publishers or by these groups that are out there trying to tell us what we can and cannot write. We've seen massive change in the horror genre from what we were seeing in the 80s and the 90s to what's acceptable then. It's not acceptable now. Yeah, the world has changed. There are real life issues out there that need to be brought to people's attention, and how else can you do that unless you're watching the news, the censored news, the news that people are giving to us, force feeding us? Horror is just horror. If you don't want to watch horror, fuck off. Don't watch it. It's not for you, okay? It's for horror fans. I'm sorry I'm getting so angry about this, but I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. I've had enough of it. I want to write what the hell I want to write. I'm going to do it. If you don't want to buy my book, sweet. But I'm in the middle of a biography right now, and this biography is going to be huge. It is going to be a game changer. And I have in the back of my mind these niggly little people going, you can't write that, you can't put that in a book. But it's horror. What do you expect? Do you want, what do you want? People love horror. And guess what? We're not psychopaths. We are normal people, just like you. We are normal. Just because I love horror does not mean I'm crazy. Okay? I have my own mental health issues. Does not make me a psychopath. People with a mental illness does not make them psychopaths. Okay? And if we want to write about social issues and the devastation of the world and the shit that is happening out in our world, and we want to write about it, I think that we should have a pass where we can do whatever we want, so long as it doesn't offend people. But that again is just another barrier of offending people. Some people are going to be offended, other people aren't going to be offended. So really, I'm not writing for you, the reader. I'm writing for me, the writer, to get it out of my head, and hopefully you will like the story. Okay, it does not make me crazy or a psychopath or insane or mad in the head. So, yes, there is some moral stuff that the writer has to go through inside their own mind as to what the intention is. What is the intention, is the purpose, not what's on the screen. It is what's in the book. There has to be a purpose and an intention, and if there isn't, it's crap. Just solid gore the whole way through is crap, and I understand that. But if you're a good writer and you know how to balance everything out in your head and on the book, in the book, that is fine. But when people start telling you you can't write that because it's not nice, well, guess what? The world's not nice. People aren't nice. People are terrible. They are. They're also very interesting. And they're also very interesting to write about. And there are loads and loads and loads of fucking millions of horror writers and filmmakers and people into the genre of horror, and they want to be delivered something that is going to give them some type of message, inspiration perhaps. Yes, you can get all of that from horror. I know there are people who wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole, but that's fine. Stay away from horror. If you don't want to be scared, and you don't want to be sickened, and you don't want to have to think and ponder, don't watch horror. Watch something else. Go and watch your cartoons, or go through your TikTok, or go onto YouTube, whatever. Just leave the horror genre alone. I'm pleading with you, please. It's not fair. It sucks. And it's not fair for people like me who are trying to break out into the horror scene and have been doing it for so long now. You know, I'm not just going to wipe away 6 years because people don't like what I'm writing, you know, because it's too graphic. Well, don't read my books. Don't read my writing. Stay away from horror. Go and watch pet videos, animal videos, Karens. I don't know. Go do something else. Just stay away from horror, okay? That's all I really have to say. You'll probably hear me bitch about it over the next few months too. So anyway, my writing tip for this week is stay true to yourself as a horror creator, or whatever you are and you're doing in your genre, whatever you're doing in your writing. Be true to yourself. Don't let these bandwagon people get into your head, because they were in mine. They're gone now. So I'm just letting you know that I'm a horror writer, I'm a horror reviewer, and I love horror. Does not make me crazy, okay? And I'm sorry if I might have offended a group of people or two. Was not my intention. My intention is to write, okay? So that's the tip for this week. Be true to yourself and just keep writing, okay? And don't let anyone else tell you or dictate to you what to do, okay? Take care. Till next week. Have fun. Have a good week. And I hope this has helped you on your writing journey. Take care for now. Bye.